Hi, this instructional video is a continuation of graphing quadratic functions. But this one, we're focusing on the discriminant. Here's how it works. In the previous instructional videos, I explained how if you were given a function, a quadratic function, by looking at the a, the first term, you could determine if this opens up or down, if this is positive. In this case, it's positive, so the parabola would open up. And the last number constant would indicate the y-intercept. And I explained how you should look at the a and the b, and if their signs are opposite like this, the parabola would shift to the right. And if they were the same, it would shift to the left. In this case, I would estimate my graph to go through the y-intercept at 1. Here's 1. And it will be opening up, shifting to the right. So I would estimate the parabola to look like something like this. But there was a situation where it could be the same thing, but it will not go through the x-axis at two different points. Instead, it might just touch one and go back up. Or even, there might be a situation where you have a parabola that goes to the y-axis, but it goes up, and the vertex would not even touch the x-axis at all. So there are three different situations in this case. So how do you make a better estimate? We are going to use a thing called the discriminant, the b squared minus 4ac. Let me explain how that works. If you were to identify the coefficients a, b, and the constant c, and you substitute it into this b squared minus 4ac, this is called a discriminant. Discriminant. Okay, the discriminant, the b squared minus 4ac. If you were to substitute it in, and the discriminant comes out to be a positive number, that means you'll have two solutions. Okay? And if that comes out to be a negative number, you will have no solutions. And if that comes out to be perfectly zero, you'll have exactly one solution. So if the b squared minus 4ac comes out to be positive and you get two solutions, you have a parabola that goes to the x-axis at two different points. If it comes out to be negative, that means you'll have no solution. The parabola will not go through the x at all. And if that discriminant comes out to be 0, the parabola will go through the point at exactly 1 point and go back up. So let's see the discriminant in action. In this example, we have a function given, and so the first thing you do is identify the a, b, and c. A is 2, b is negative 4, and c is negative 1. Now to determine how many solutions, how many x-intercepts we'll have, we're going to use a discriminant b squared minus 4ac. And we're going to substitute all the variables. So in this case, b is negative 4 squared minus 4 times a is 2 and c is negative 1. And you evaluate, negative 4 squared is 16. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Negative 8 times negative 1 is positive 8. And you add those two numbers up, you get a discriminant that is 24. Since it's positive, when you graph it, you know the parabola will go through the x-axis at two different points. So you have two solutions. That's it. And number 2, why don't you try 2 and 3? Okay, so A is 1, B is negative 4, C is positive 4. The discriminant b squared minus 4ac. You substitute in all the variables, we get negative 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 4. Evaluate, we get 16. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Negative 4 times positive 4 is negative 16. Uh-oh. 16 minus 16, the discriminant comes out to be a 0. And if the discriminant is 0, you'll have exactly one solution. And number 3, A is 3, B is 5, and C is 4. The discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. Substitute in all the variables, we get 5 squared minus 4 times A is 3 and C is 4. When we evaluate, we get 25 minus 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 4 is, 48. 25 minus 48. That's going to be a negative number, negative 23. And since the discriminant is negative, you'll have no solution or zero solution. It will not go through the x-axis at all. That's it. Now why don't you try numbers 1, 2, and 3. That is in quadratic equation form. Not a function, but an equation. It's the same thing, however. All right. So number 1, A is 1. B is 7. C is 15. So the discriminant b squared minus 4ac, you substitute in the variables, we get 7 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1, and c, which is 15. Evaluate, you get 49 minus 4 times 1 is negative 4, and negative 4 times 15, I believe that's 60. Oh, wow. 49 minus 60 is negative 11. And since the discriminant is negative, you have no solution. The parabola will not go through the x-intercept or x-axis. You can still graph it. And number 2, A is 3, B is negative 6, and C is positive 2. The discriminant b squared minus 4ac again. Substitute in all the variables and the constant, of course, we get negative 6 squared minus 4 times 3 times 2. When you evaluate in this one, we get negative 6 and negative 6 is positive 36. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. Negative 12 and 2 is negative 24. Negative 36 minus 24 is positive 12. So we'll have 2 solutions. And the last one, A is 2, B is 8, C is 8. The discriminant b squared minus 4ac, substitute, we get 8 squared minus 4 times A is 2 times C is 8. Evaluate, we get 64 minus, 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 8 is 64. 64 minus 64 is a 0. You'll have exactly 1 solution. There you go. Good luck on your test.